Take a look at your life, not the one you post on social media, the real one, the one that happens in the silence of your own mind when the lights go out, you wake up, you hit snooze, you drag yourself to a job that doesn't inspire you, you eat food that makes you sluggish, you come home, you scroll through a glass screen for 3 hours and you go to sleep. Repeat. You've fallen into the trap. You've defaulted to average. Average is comfortable. Average is predictable. It's the path of least resistance. It's a warm blanket that slowly smothers the fire you were born with. And the worst part? Nobody blames you for it. Your friends are average. Your neighbors are average. Your coworkers are average. They'll tell you it's fine. They'll tell you you're doing okay, but okay is a slow-motion suicide for your potential. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "Far better it is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs even, though checkered by failure, than to rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy nor suffer much because they live in a gray twilight that knows not victory nor defeat." You are living in that gray twilight right now. You're settling for a lukewarm existence because you're afraid of the heat. Settling is silent theft. It's stealing the legacy you're supposed to leave. It's stealing the father, the mother, or the leader you were meant to become. You aren't broken, you aren't lazy, you've just fallen asleep at the wheel of your own life. Let the world convince you that safe is the same as good. It's time to stop defaulting to easy. It's time to wake up. The most dangerous words in the human language are, "This is good enough." That is the lie that average tells you to keep you from your edge. You say it when you're in the gym and you have 2 reps left, but your lungs burn. Good enough. You say it when you're refinishing a project at 5 p.m. and it's about 80% there. Good enough. You say it about your relationships when the passion is gone, but the routine is comfortable. Good enough. Let's be real. Good enough is the anthem of the coward. It's an excuse to stop pushing before the pain hits. It's self-betrayal wrapped in a bow of humility. You tell yourself you're being realistic. You tell yourself not. Everyone gets to win big. The truth? You deserve better. Not because you're a special snowflake, but because you have the biological capacity for excellence that you are currently wasting. When you settle, you aren't being humble, you're being a thief. You're holding back the contribution you owe to the world. Roosevelt spoke of the cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Those are the people who say this is fine while their dreams are rotting. Flip the script right now. Stop saying this is good. Enough. Start saying, "I deserve to push for more. I deserve the struggle. I deserve the sweat. I deserve the scars that come with being in the arena." Because that struggle, that friction is the only thing that proves you're actually alive. Settling is a choice, and it is a choice you make every single time you choose the easy yes over the hard no. It's time to stop lying to yourself. You don't want average, you want your edge back. So how do you find that edge? How do you sharpen a blade that's been dull for years? You need a new filter for your life. You need a question that cuts through the bullshit of your excuses. From this moment forward, every time you reach a point of decision, no matter how small, I want you to stop. Ask yourself this: what would the best version of me do right now? The best version of you isn't some mythical hero. It's the person you know you could be if you stopped negotiating with your weakness. When that alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and your bed is warm, ask the question, what would the best version of you do? He wouldn't hit snooze. He'd be on the floor doing push-ups before his brain even realized he was awake. When you're at work and you want to cut corners, ask the question, what would the best version of you do? He'd stay the extra 20 minutes to make sure the work is bulletproof. When you want to snap at your spouse because you're tired and stressed, ask the question, this isn't about being perfect, it's about being intentional. Roosevelt believed in what he called the strenuous life. He believed that the highest form of character is built through effort, not just any effort, but the kind of effort that makes you uncomfortable. He said, I wish to preach not the doctrine of ignoble ease, but the doctrine of the strenuous life, the life of toil and effort, of labor and strife. To preach that highest form of success which comes, not to the man who desires mere easy peace, but to the man who does not shrink from danger, from hardship, or from bitter toil. That is your fix. You stop looking for the easy peace, you start looking for the strenuous life. Every time you answer the edge question with action, you are casting a vote for a new identity. You are sharpening your mind, you are burning away the average and igniting the edge. Excellence is not a talent, it's not a gift, it's not something. You're born with. Excellence is a decision, and it's a decision you have to make every single morning. Average is the default setting of the world. If you do nothing, you will be average. If you just go with the flow, you will end up in the gray twilight. To have an edge, you have to fight for it. You have to own the fact that your current life, every single part of it, is a direct result of the standards you have tolerated. If your body is soft, it's because you tolerated a soft standard. If your bank account is empty, it's because you tolerated an average effort. Own it, because the moment you own it is the moment you gain the power to change it. You need to get back in the arena. You know the words. Roosevelt's most famous charge: it is not the critic who counts. Not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. That is ownership. Ownership is being marred by the dust. Ownership is being covered in the blood and the sweat and not caring what the critics in the stands have to say, the people who settle for average will always try to pull you back down to their level. They'll call you obsessed. They'll tell you to relax. Ignore them. Your edge is your choice. Your excellence is your responsibility. Protect your edge. Sharpen it every day with the strenuous life. Let it cut through every limitation you once thought was permanent. You were not born to be a poor spirit in the gray twilight. You were not born to settle for scraps of a life while others claim the full meal. The time for good enough is over. The time for tomorrow is dead. Right now, in this second, ask the question, what would the best version of me do? Whatever the answer is, do it. If it's making a phone call, make it. If it's dropping for 20 push-ups, drop. If it's throwing away the junk food in your pantry, get up and do it now. Feel that friction. Feel that resistance in your chest. That's your edge igniting. That's the fire returning to your bones. No more average. No more compromises. No more excuses. You have one life. You have one shot. Don't you dare spend it being okay. Get in the arena. Dare mighty things. Ignite your edge. Own your shit. We have a problem. We've become addicts. We're addicted to the spark. We spend hours scrolling through digital graveyards of quotes, looking for that one combination of words that will finally make us feel like enough. We consume Mahatma Gandhi and Marcus Aurelius like fast food, stripping their lives of the grit and leaving only the polished gem for our Instagram stories. But here is the reality. You are currently living in a museum of other people's victories. You've got Lincoln on your wall, Musashi on your lock screen, and Naruto in your heart, but in the mirror. In the mirror there is a ghost, a person who knows all the theory but has none of the scars. We've turned motivation into an industry, a sanitized plastic version of truth that tastes like sugar but provides zero nourishment. The problem isn't that you don't know what to do. The problem is that you're waiting for the quote to do the work for you. You waiting for a sign when you already standing in the middle of a burning building. You reusing wisdom as a shield to hide from the very arena Roosevelt told you to enter. We are a generation of scholars who are terrified to be students. We want the victory over yourself that Miyamoto Musashi talked about, but we don't want the today that it requires. We want the crown without the thorns. The great lie of modern motivation is that these words were written by perfect people in perfect moments. We see Maya Angelou's words and think she was always confident. We see Benjamin Franklin's proverbs and think he was always disciplined. That is a basin truth. Every iconic line you've ever read was forged in a furnace of failure. When Abraham Lincoln spoke of a government of the people, he was standing on a field soaked in the blood of 50,000 men. When Rumi said, "What you seek is seeking you," he was mourning the loss of his best friend. These aren't posters. They're survival guides. We've sanitized the struggle. We've edited out the bankruptcy, the depression, and the decades of silence. We do the same thing with the stories we watch. We love Edward Elric's line, "A lesson without pain is meaningless." We put it on a t-shirt, but we forget that the pain he is talking about is the loss of his own arm and his brother's body. The lie you tell yourself is, "Once I understand the philosophy, I'll be ready." No, philosophy is not a map. It's a compass. A compass is useless if you're too terrified to walk. You don't learn truth by reading it. You earn truth by living it. Until you've bled for a goal, Edward Elric is just a cartoon character and Roosevelt is just a statue in a park. Stop looking for the sanitized version. If the motivation doesn't have a wound attached to it, it's a lie. If it doesn't make you uncomfortable, it's just entertainment. How do we bridge the gap? How do we turn these words into fuel instead of just mental noise? We adopt the Nindo audit in the ninja world of Naruto. Your Nindo is your ninja way. It's the one word you never go back on. It's not a quote. It's a law, Confucius said. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Musashi said, "Today is victory over yourself of yesterday. The fix is to stop reading 20 quotes a day and start living one for a year. Take the first 10 rule we talked about and apply it to a single principle. If you choose Musashi's victory over yesterday, then your only job for the next 10 minutes is to be 1% better than the version of you that woke up this morning. If you choose Lao Tzu's A Journey of 1,000 Miles begins with a single step, then stop looking at the horizon and look at your feet. What is the one ugly, boring, unglamorous small stone you need to move right now? Action is the only thing that validates wisdom. Without action, Confucius is just a guy with a beard, and John F. Kennedy is just a voice on a recording. Ask yourself, am I reading this to grow? Or am I reading this to feel better about not growing? Be honest. If it's the latter, put the book down, shut off the video, go find the friction, go find the strenuous life. As Yi Sun Sin said before the battle, those who seek death shall live. Those who seek life shall die. Stop seeking the safe life of comfort. Seek the death of your excuses, and you will finally start to live. Own your shit. Own the fact that you've been a spectator in the life you were meant to lead. You've been sitting in the stands judging the men in the arena while your own face is perfectly clean and your heart rate is perfectly steady. Roosevelt didn't write about the arena to inspire you. He wrote it to indict you. He wrote it to remind you that the credit belongs to the man whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. Look at your hands. Are they calloused? Look at your record. Is it checkered by failure? If you aren't failing, you aren't in the game. You're just a critic with a library card. The great thinkers of Asia and the Americas, from Lao Tzu to Thomas Jefferson, all agreed on one thing: ownership is the foundation of freedom. You cannot be free if you are a slave to your moods. You cannot be free if you are waiting for a spark. Own the suck. Own the boredom. Own the 9th time you have to get back up. As Vegeta said, Power comes in response to a need, not a desire. You don't desire your way to the top of the mountain, you need your way there. Because the alternative, staying at the bottom, is a death sentence for your soul. Excellence is a lonely, repetitive, and often disgusting process. It smells like old gym clothes and tastes like the copper in your mouth after a hard run. It's the silence of a 4 a.m. desk and the cold of a 5 a.m. shower. That is the arena. Welcome to it. The history of the world is a long list of people who dared to be unrealistic. From Bolivar to Martin Luther King Jr.B, from Goku to Spike Spiegel, the message is the same. Stop negotiating with your weakness. You don't need another quote. You don't need another video. You don't need another sign. You need to take the truth you already know and turn it into a weapon. The art of victory is learned in defeat. Bolivar, I mustn't run away. Shinji, carry on your shit. The mirror right now, ask yourself, what would the best version of me do? Then do it, not tomorrow, not later. Now feel that fire? That's not a quote, that's your potential finally catching light. The arena is waiting, the dust is calling, own your shit.